Hi there and welcome to this YouTube channel about the tarot. I'm very happy to see you here and happy that you discover my first video. This video is more about an introduction of myself, of what I'm doing, how I do it, and a little bit of tarot for those who have no idea what it is about. So I hope you enjoy that. I apologize, first of all, for not having the super duper background and the super duper makeup and haircut. I thought if I wait to have all those things, then I will never do a YouTube channel. So yeah, just forgive me. It will be better with time, hopefully. And yeah, it will improve, it will be really nice videos at some point. I'm though very much struggling with the technology, so for the moment, let's just do it that way. So my name is Celine and I've been working with the tarot for about 8 years now. I started in 2012 when I was in some kind of spiritual path and awakening, and the cards actually helped me quite a lot in that process. So since then they have accompanied me and have been of a great help. Tarot cards, for those who don't know at all tarot, just know that they are cards. They're not to be confused with oracles. So for example, this is the Hanged Man, the Wheel of Fortune, and so on. So this is what is called the reconstructed tarot. So you can see it's very much inspired from the medieval times. The oracles are very different. Oracles are like one card a day kind of card deck. You don't read them in combination. The Tarot de Marseille is something that you read in combinations. But I will do a video about the different decks anyway. And you're free to please ask questions. I will answer them. I do not have a proper plan of this YouTube channel. I just want to share and I want to do it now. So yeah, you're happy to tell me what you want to do. I do want though to introduce the history of the cards, the Cathars, this group of people who kind of put their story into those cards. I also would like to compare different decks as well, which is important to me because I am very much stuck with a couple of games only, a couple of decks only. But yeah, well, so we will discuss that. I try to do short videos so people don't get bored, and also because it's easier to upload them on YouTube. I'm very sorry. Right. So the Tarot de Marseille is a tool for personal development. So many know the cards as a future reading or yeah, some mystical foreseeing or something like that. There will be a video on the questions I answer and which not. Future, for instance, is a question I don't do. So for me, really, the cards are a tool for understanding situations, understanding internal personal conflicts. Why do I get so angry at this? Or sometimes I'm just really not lost, but very paralyzed at home. I don't really know what to do with my day and so on, and I drew a card or two, and yeah, so it puts me back on track basically. So this is a little bit how I work now. You will see that you have number 1, number 2, number 3. You see cards with people who are very much dressed. So basically the first 7 cards is the first line of the tarot, is a work more on the here and now. And the more we move on in the path of the tarot, we get towards more undressed people, like the world, for instance. We have the moon, not the moon, sorry, the the sun, for instance, or the star. So you can see those are the last cards of that evolution. So you have 22 cards. Why is that? That is because the tarot teaches you how to get rid of those layers, get rid of those patterns of thoughts, limiting you, of ego, of whatever is in the way of spiritual evolution. Now, what does that mean? It means we are both human and divine. That is the duality of that Cathar philosophy back then. You will see that in the history video. Yeah, so we have to move forward, to always continue evolving, to always work on ourselves. Yeah, I mean, even though we are perfect, maybe, because we are what we are, and we have to accept that. But there are things that that limit ourselves and sabotage ourselves, so the tarot kind of helps to see those things and to move forward. What is the aim of life? Talking about spirituality. Well, it's the last card of the deck. Because of course we are talking here about the salvation of the soul. The last card of the deck is the World. I'm not sure you see it well. So it's card number 21. I told you there were 22 cards. That is because there is one card with no number. That's kind of like the Joker. You can put it everywhere, and it goes everywhere. The Joker is actually that person, that is you, that is your soul, who moves throughout those numbers. And I will say something to that later. So the World is the aim of the soul, and it speaks about unconditional love. That is why she's in the position of the Christ as well, because he had unconditional love. He even blessed the people who killed him. He said, forgive them, they don't know what they do. So he understood the greater meaning of things. He understood the sacrifice. He understood, you know, that there is more than what we just live on earth. Yeah, you can be in that state in your life, and lose it again. You can, that kind of happened, for example, to me. I had a phase in my life where I really understood so many things. I was very aware of what was happening around me, spiritually speaking. Every aggression was, I saw it with love. I was like, oh, you know, she has a conflict with this, or she has a conflict with that, or there is a meaning behind everything. Anyhow, I'm going more into depth later with that, or in another video. But yeah, so she's protected by the divine as well. And there are people who never reach that in a life. They sometimes need several lifetimes to reach that, but that is always the aim of our soul, is to get back to our divine sign, and therefore closer to the source. You can say source, you can say God, you can say universe, you can say grand spirit, you can say whatever you want. I call it the universe. The card that really represents us in that process is the Fool. The Fool is a card of a man walking. He is searching for something. He leaves everything behind him. He doesn't need much. He walks with very little, so he has a bag with all the important things in it. Usually what is in that bag is also what is heavy on his shoulders, of course, so structures of belief and so on, and he wants to liberate himself from that. The bag also has experiences from previous lives, and from this life with it, and he has a helmet or hat, as you like, which covers his ears as well, because and he's looking at the stars, because he's searching for the truth, and he's searching for the stars. He tries not to be influenced, so that's why he has his ears covered. He tries not to be influenced by what people say. That's why we call him the Fool as well. That's quite interesting. Well, here the card is called Le Mat, but in other decks it's called the Fool. The Fool is a person actually who was the only one who could say the truth at the king's court back in the medieval times, because he was considered to be a fool. But often the fools were the ones who actually told the truth. They made fun, for example, of the king. They were the only ones who could do that without being beheaded, because they were the fools, the bouffons, so that is also something that, we can see in the history part. They could say whatever they wanted and speak the truth. And people would take it seriously, or they would just laugh, but nobody would attack them. Another interesting fact of that card is that dog. There's a history to the card of the people, the pilgrimage, pilgrimage to San Juan de Compostela. Those people were walking and at some point they were tired and they wanted to eat. So they sat down and take out their bread, and then you had those dogs or wolves coming and eating their bread. So they had to go. They had to continue walking. They couldn't stop. They had to continue walking towards San Juan de Compostela. So this dog, you don't see the dog eating bread on that card, but it definitely bothers the Fool playing with its testicles, basically. That is a little bit part of the ego. The ego pushes you, even though it is annoying and it is sabotaging you and it is hurting you. It is the one that makes you continue walking and makes you move forward. So there's just that as a meaning, and there are 1,000 more. So I'm not going to go too much into depth, but this is a little bit explaining that path that was important to me. Now, why do I do this channel? I am at the moment in a moment in my life where I have to take decisions and so on, and I am inspired. I mean, we are all in 2020, so I think you know what I mean. I do get inspired quite a lot by people online. So I'm following, for example, Braca Goldsmith, who is an astrologist. She's a very weird person, but she is so much herself. She's authentic, and that's what I really like with her. And she's very interesting in what she says, and very loving. She also doesn't have a proper setting and a proper camera, but I really like the content and I click with her. I just enjoy this person being herself. The guts she has, to expose herself like that and just says, take it or leave it. I like that. Then there is another girl that I follow. She's called Candice, Au Pays de Candice. She does tarot, for instance, and there are many more that I really follow with interest. There are others that I follow, but I don't click with everyone. So I thought, even though there are already 1,000 people online talking about tarot cards or talking about spiritual path or anything like that, well, maybe you don't click with them, and maybe you click with me, or the other way around, whatever. So, you know, there are different personalities online, and everyone, you know, looks for their click. I, for my part, would like to share that little treasure that I have in those times where we are seeing or witnessing the destruction of our system and a birth of a new one. But the birth is going to be long. Like Brecca says, we are stuck in the birth canal at the moment, at the very beginning, and so it's going to be very difficult months ahead. A lot of destruction externally, but also internally. And this is what I feel for myself quite a lot at the moment. You know, having to quit my job, having a new one, quitting that job too. So many things that I cannot live with anymore, that I had to do something, and I'm panicking, of course, and you know, my security, and oh my God, and what am I doing, and I'm 40, and where is my life gonna take me? And so those videos and the cards, of course, but those videos really helped me go through that, and I would like to pay it back. Maybe not to them directly, but yeah, doing my part as well in that helping or giving people tools how they can go through these times. Yeah, right. So I hope I could motivate you enough to watch my second video about history and philosophy of the cards, and maybe even more. So thank you very much for watching so far, and see you soon. Bye bye.